Still just as quick as ever. So it's one of pro football's most intense rivalries, the Cowboys and the Redskins today in Washington.
CBS Sports presents.
All you really need to say is the Cowboys against the Redskins, and that's about all the build-up you need, because these two people flat just don't like each other. And for the 117th consecutive time, RFK Stadium is sold out. Here are the standings beginning today, and with some adjustments of things that happened. Washington, the NFC, and the NFL's only unbeaten team.
98. Save $41 on this Tappan microwave oven, just $179. And save on this Sharp stereo cassette deck, just $77.
Don't miss Appliance TV City's 9-hour sale tomorrow. It's famous for saving you money. Honest.
Don't miss the joy, don't miss the joy. This Christmas, mail your cards and packages early. Don't miss the...
Successful in games that they have played after Thanksgiving Day. They played Cleveland last Thanksgiving Day, of course. They are 13-1. And John Madden, of course, is with me, and John and I discussed that with Tom Landry last night.
Well, you know, Tom said that they've had this outstanding success because they were able to play on Thanksgiving, then they'd have those 10 days off, and they'd be able to get the rest. He said, now, coming off a 2-month strike, he said, we didn't need any rest. He said, we do need two things. He said, one, he said, we need intensity. We have to get intensity in our team, and we have to get conditioning. And the way to find out if we have it is to play a good team, and we are today the Redskins.
The Redskins are coached by Joe Gibbs, who's an old friend of John's, and we spent Friday afternoon in long conversation with him. What do you think, and what do you think he thinks he has to do to beat Dallas?
I know what he thinks. He says that the thing they have to do on defense is they can't give them any big plays. He said, you aren't going to stop Tony Dorsett, you aren't going to stop Danny White, but you have to control them. Don't give them an easy one. But I think a lot of it's going to boil down to that young offensive line of the Washington Redskins. There they are. They're called the Hogs, and they're going against one of the real strengths of the Dallas Cowboys, that front four. That'll be a very interesting matchup to watch. So let's kick it off.
Let's have at it. Jeff Hayes will kick off, number 5, the rookie. Ball teed up, of course, at the 35. Doug Donnelly will be back deep for Dallas, number 83, along with Ron Fellows, who's been very effective, number 27. The field is not in the best shape. They've had rain all week long here in Washington. It rained during last week's Philadelphia game, so the track is not fast. Hayes hits it well. Donnelly cuts in for Fellows, the yard deep in the end zone. But Donnelly breaks out of the pack. Hayes, the last man, and he made the stop. The kicker saved 6. The offense for Dallas. Andy White, of course, the quarterback. Dorsett and Springs, the runners. The wide receivers, Tony Hill and Drew Pearson. Up front, Donovan Richards, Rafferty, Peterson, Cooper, and Doug Cosby starting now at tight end. Although, as you look down, I think I see the big back of Billy Joe Dupree also in the game. So it would appear they go with 2 tight ends to begin. Trying for win number 200, Tom Landry. We'll check the Redskin defense in just a minute. Dorsett takes the pitch to the left. Dorsett to the outside, gets good yardage. About 6. Mark Murphy nudged him out of bounds, and there's an injured Redskin on the first play. Now Perry Brooks still trying to get back to his feet. Those of you who watched the Cardinals defeat Philadelphia 23-20, welcome to RFK Stadium in Washington. You've missed one play of the initial drive by Dallas, if indeed it turns out to be one. Brooks is still down. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden.
It was interesting, Pat, as you said, the Cowboys started with 2 tight ends, 1 back in the backfield, and that's what we'll see most of the game from the Washington Redskins.
The Redskins defense, the defensive line, Mendenhall, Butts, Brooks, and Manley, although it doesn't look like it'll be Brooks much longer. It'll probably be Darrell Grant. Linebackers, Kaufman and Olkowitz on the outside. Kaufman and Millot, I beg your pardon, on the outside. Olkowitz in the middle. The secondary, Joe Gibbs said perhaps they played their best game ever as a unit last week. White, Dean, Murphy, and Tony Peters.
course, Vernon Dean is a rookie from San Diego State, and he beat out Joe Lavender, who was one of the good covering corners in this league.
They started him, and they put him there because he is a hitter. And Gibbs felt that he needed a little bit more physical secondary. 2nd down and 5, called it. Dorsett the 1 carry for 5. Dorsett remains. One of the runners, Ron Springs, is the other. 2nd and 5. Hand off Dorsett. Dorsett is hit right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Good play by the safety man. Jarius White and Tony Peters both up there quickly.
We were talking about Vernon Dean in the secondary. That was one of the things Joe Gibbs wanted to see, is he wanted those corners and safety men to get involved in the running game, and I think we just saw a real good example of that.
We sure did. Redskins now go with 5 defensive backs. You see number 20 come out of the pack. That is Lavender, of whom John was talking a minute ago. 3rd down and 3. Shotgun. White has Springs wide open. Up to the 45, knocked out of bounds, and a penalty marker goes down. Monty Coleman knocked him out of bounds, an 8-yard pickup, enough for a 1st down. They may have a clip.
Looks like it's against the Cowboys. They do have a clip, and it is against the Cowboys.
Referee is Jerry Markbright. I think it was Drew Pearson who was coming back to block for Springs. It was guilty of the clip. If so, you'll hear a reference to number 88.
Personal foul, clipping number 88, offense, 3rd down.
Oh, you don't miss a thing.
Well, we got a good view here. Here's a guy who didn't miss much.
He doesn't miss a thing. 199 victories. He's going for win number 200. Look at that record. What a man.
Only George Hallis and Curly Lambeau have more victories in professional football. Butch Johnson, 3 wide receivers for Dallas. 3rd down. Here comes the blitz. White does well to get rid of it. Tony Hill, the intended receiver, hit down by Vernon Dean and hit with a lot of whack.
I love these rivalry games. You see Joe Theismann getting ready to go on the field there. You can just feel the electricity in this stadium. Okay? It's been this way for over an hour and a half.
Back when George Allen was here, this became one of the most intense rivalries in professional football. Mike Nelms back deep. Danny White will punt for Dallas. Nelms is dangerous. Good kick by Danny White. Kicking away from Nelms. And now Nelms takes it. Down quickly for Dallas. Rod Hill. Let's check out some other final scores. Pittsburgh beat Kansas City 35-14. Chicago for Mike Ditka, their 2nd victory, 26-13 over New England. San Diego 30, the troubled Cleveland Browns 13. Joe Theismann will give you the rest of the offensive lineup in just a minute. For the most part, they operate with 1 setback, and it is John Riggin. It'll be Riggin. Hit by Harvey Martin and Guy Brown before he can go anywhere. Here is the Washington offense, young and strong. Theismann, the quarterback. Joe Washington sometimes. Riggins, Brown, Charlie Brown, who's having a great start, and Art Monk. Up front, a huge offensive line. Jacoby, Grimm, Bostic, May, Stark, and the tight end, Don Warren. Riggins lost 2, make it 2nd and 12. Joe Washington now is the lone back. He'll go with 3 wide receivers, Monk in motion. Here's Washington, chased by Randy White. And cut down after about a 4-yard pickup by Dennis Thurman and Benny Barnes and Randy White.
I think we're going to see quite a bit of this man doing that thing we just saw. You know, I think that they haven't used him much in the 2 games since the strike. Joe Gibbs said he's going to use him today much more, and he'll be used mostly on draws, we just saw, and screens.
He is, of course, a very good pass receiver, too. Here's the Dallas defense. Linebackers, familiar names, and so is the secondary. 3rd and 5. From the 23, Theismann drops, looks for Brown. Has his tight end Warren come across the middle for a Redskin first down outside the 30. Dexter Clinksdale, a reserve Dallas defender, cut him down.
Let's watch it from the end zone. It looked like he was throwing to his left end, Charlie Brown. See, he's looking left all the way. You see Warren, 85, he came to the inside, stopped, and then worked back to the outside. First down.
From the 33, Theismann will throw quickly. Monk, one-on-one on Everson Walls, and he almost got away from the whole thing. Another first down, Washington.
Art Monk there is probably one of the top players on this Redskin team. That was a problem last year. That was all they had out there was Art Monk. And this year with Charlie Brown, they really have a good combination. You can't double Art all the time because Charlie Brown has scored 5 touchdown passes in 4 games.
Final score as the Packers roll on. 33-21 over Buffalo. First down, Redskin. Riggin powering as only he can do. Brunig on the bottom of the pile, but Riggins got about 4.
I love that. You see that? All those bodies in there, the white jerseys, blue jerseys, a little mud out there in the field. This is going to be a good one. This is the way football used to be, the way it should be.
Well, you like the dirt, too, don't you?
I like the dirt, the mud, grass, stuff like that. You know, where you get chunks of that stuff from your helmet and dirty jerseys and sweat.
If this just had a water bucket. Ricky Walker goes in motion. Riggins again gets the call and breaks back inside very close to another Redskin first down. Guy Brown tripped him up. This crowd loving this Redskin possession.
I think they love these Redskins, period. One of the things that Joe Gibbs told us, he said they've never been able to do since he's been here, of course, which is only his 2nd year. They've never been able to run in the Cowboys. Of course, they've never beaten them. So we have to run, and that's what we were talking about earlier. That big offensive line he feels on the run has to handle that front 4 of Dallas. Tough job.
They're certainly big enough to get it done. Very short yardage needed for a first. 3rd, about a foot. Wonsley is the ball carrier. I don't know. It's going to be close. Walls, the first man to make contact.
It sure didn't look like he made anything. Everson Walls and Mike Hegman were right there in the hole, and he didn't have any forward momentum going. This will be an interesting call if they don't make it. We're talking about early here in the first quarter, maybe an inch or two. Do you go for it, or do you punt it?
Theismann signaling over to Gibbs, saying we have about a foot, and that's about what it looks like.
Let's watch this stop again. We see Everson Walls, the corner. He's right up in the line. He gets penetration, takes on the guard, and watch, right there is Brunig, and then Hegman comes in, and then Walls is right there to stop him. And once contact was made, there was no forward motion. You got the answer. They are going to punt.
Jeff Hayes, who's had some problems lately. Since the strike, he hasn't been punting very well. Ron Fellows standing back at his own 10. He has become a dangerous punt returner as well. Here's Hayes. This is a fine kick. A beauty. Rolls into the end zone, and Dallas will operate from the 20. A little scuffle or two going on back upfield. Members of the special teams trying to revive the rivalry. 47-yard punt bounced into the end zone. Dallas will start from its own 20. 0-0 score. Dallas has the football now with 9:09 left to play in the first quarter. You'll recall the first play from scrimmage, Washington had a man injured, Terry Brooks. And the word on Terry is that he has a sprained left knee. Whether he'll be back or not, we'll just have to wait and see. First down, Dallas and 10 from the 20. Two tight end setup. Cosby. Outside to Pearson. Redskins react quickly. Lost 3. Dexter Manley out there, and he is quick.
Let's see if we can watch that. Dexter Manley, you know, he's the right defensive end here, and he's one of the fastest men on the Redskins team. I remember last year he used to be the outside man on punt coverage. Watch him, 72 there. Started a pass rush, saw the screen, boom, right down the line out there to make the tackle.
Loss of 2, second and 12, back at the 18. Dorsett and Springs now, the two runners. White to Springs. He is cut down for another loss of 2. That is a very determined bunch of young men right there.
I don't know what the definition of intensity is, but I'll guarantee you that crowd and that bench, they sure have it here today in Washington, D.C.
That was Brooks who made the tackle. So he is back in action. Washington pretty much stays with a 4-man front. The 3 linebackers, and now they have 5 defensive backs. Dallas, 3rd and 14 from the 16. They're faking, showing blitz, and they do. White has the man open. Tony Hill struggles for a first down. He may have it. He was flung backwards, but I think he has the first down. Vernon Dean was there. Right now, while we have a second, let's run down some of the other scores. First down, Dallas, by the way. Miami beat Minnesota 22-14. St. Louis over Philadelphia. The Eagles really having some problems, 23-20. Tampa Bay beat New Orleans, broke their winning streak at 3, 13-10. And Green Bay 33, Buffalo at 21. First down, Dallas, right at the 30. White, Dorsett, behind the line of scrimmage by Butts. Just to continue with the rest of the final scores, the Giants came from behind to beat Houston 17-14. Only the second time they've ever played. Pittsburgh over Kansas City 35-14. Chicago over New England 26-13. And San Diego over Cleveland 30-13. That's all. It's 2nd and 10. This is Tony Hill out wide to the right. Dorsett the lone setback. Off Dorsett. Couple of blockers out in front, but that Redskin defense just shucked them.
I'll tell you who did a heck of a job of shucking, and that was a rookie cornerback, number 32, Vernon Dean. He's the right corner. He read the sweep coming out to that side. He came up from the outside, took on a blocker, and Dorsett. That was a great play by a cornerback. You know, you always think of cornerbacks and pass defense, but that was a heck of a play by Vernon Dean against the run.
It'll be 3rd and 12. Clock running at 5:45 left first quarter. No scores yet. Dallas goes now with 3 wide receivers. Redskins blitzing a lot of folks. White does get rid of it. The blitz made him hurry. Intended for Butch Johnson. Listen to the crowd.
You know, I think we learned one thing. Watch 23 there. That's the strong safety, Tony Peters. He's up there. The linebackers, both safeties are coming. Each time the Cowboys went to the shotgun, the Redskins have blitzed it. So I think the Cowboys are going to see a lot of blitzing today.
They already have seen a lot. White has punted once already, 53 yards. Nelms back deep. This one's not as good. Nelms has the handle. Had a little bit of room, still fighting, trying to get out of the mass of bodies and can't get it accomplished. 42-yard punt, 6-yard return. So with 5:22 now left to play in the first quarter, the score Dallas has beaten Washington 5 consecutive times. So the rivalry between these two sort of died out a little bit. But now it's on the way back. Theismann will throw on first down. Looking with lots of time, gets it outside. Ricky Walker, one of the Redskins tight ends. They have a lot. Stopped by Everson Walls. Atlanta 7, Denver 7, first quarter. Cincinnati trailed Baltimore at one time, but they have come back to 20-10, fourth quarter. About a yard pickup on that play to the 37. They'll make it 2nd and 9. Joe Theismann doing just a great job this year. Walker in motion. Theismann straight back. Blitz is on. He had it read perfectly. Don Warren, the receiver. They got about 6 yards. Right now for an NFL update, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger.
Pat, here's the tying touchdown by Denver that you just reported against Atlanta. It is a 3-yard run from the I formation. Sammy Winder has got it. Now let's go back to Pat and John.
7-7 there, nothing here. Third down and 3 at the 43. John Riggins is out. Joe Washington, the pass receiver, is in. Munson in motion. Theismann with time. Now chased by Randy White. Picked off. This is Dexter Clinkscale who comes up with the interception. And the Cowboys will have it at their own 46, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was fine coverage by Dexter Clinkscale. Of course, the Cowboys are in their 5 defensive backs. Now watch 47 comes up. He has Washington. He sees him. He gets behind him, stays underneath him, and is in great position. Makes a great reaction to the ball. Dexter Clinkscale.
Second-year pro from South Carolina State. Cowboys will have it 1st and 10 at their own 45. 3:47 left first quarter when we come back. 0-0. 3:47 left first quarter. Pat Summerall with John Madden, and we're at RFK Stadium in Washington, which of course is sold out. 2 tight ends, Cosby on the left, Dupree on the right. One back is Dorsett. White with good time, looking for Tony Hill. Picked off by Vernon Dean, a spectacular catch. And here comes Dean. He's got some room. Dupree in front of him now, and Dupree takes him down. 28-yard return by Vernon Dean.
There's Vernon Dean. You know, on passing downs, the Redskins have been blitzing. Now on first down, they're playing their corners off and deep. It looked like Dallas thought they were playing them tight. Now Vernon Dean, watch the cushion he has on him. You see, Hill doesn't have a step on him. In fact, he has the steps on Hill, and he made a great over-the-head catch. Looked like a receiver.
I'm going to say, it looked like the pass was meant for him. He still made a great catch. And a 28-yard return. And the Redskins turn it over.
Take a look what a weak side rotated zone. Here's Vernon Dean. He's going deep outside. He'll make the interception. Peters, deep middle. Over here we have Jarris White deep outside. Now that we see the safety is going to rotate up here weak side to weak safety. Now watch it here. Now watch the zone develop. We see Dean backpedaling. He just has the deepest. Stop it. See, now we stop it here. You see the position he has right here? Safety in the middle. And of course Danny White threw it right to Dean.
1st and 10 from the 37. Riggins got a block from his tight end. Almost found a bigger hole than it appeared to be in the beginning. Randy White was the first man to make the stop. The Raiders and Seattle. Marcus Allen has scored for the LA Raiders. Seattle, of course, has played extremely well for Mike McCormick. Shut out Pittsburgh last week.
2-0 since strike.
2nd and 5 for Washington. Riggins Riggins again looking for some room over the right side. Benny Barnes, the safety man, came up quickly and took him to the dirt. 2:45 left first quarter. Still no score.
What the Redskins are trying to do here is mix up, run and pass, get some first downs, keep the offense on the field, keep Dallas's defense on the field, and not let Dallas's offense have a lot of shots at their defense.
And get some yards on first down. Gibbs felt that was very much a key.
Some yards rushing.
3rd down and 3. Monk goes in motion. Clarence Harmon was the running back that time. Here's Theismann. Had a man outside. Had Charlie Brown, who might have been anxious to start things upfield too soon. Clinkscale and Fellows on the defense.
I tell you, the Dallas probably plays that 6 defensive backs as well as anyone. They bring in Ron Fellows, who we just saw make a play there, and Dexter Clinkscale, who we saw with the interception on the last series. They do a fine job with that 6 defensive back, that pass defense.
Jeff Hayes back to punt. Ron Fellows back deep for Dallas, standing at the 15. This one doesn't turn over. Redskins down it at about the 24, where Dallas will take over in 1st and 10. 30-yard punt. That fell dead as soon as it hit. 2:04 now left in the first quarter, and still no score. It is Dallas nothing, Washington nothing. First quarter. 2 minutes, 3 seconds left to play. John Riggins, who just went to the oxygen and just went back to it, over on the Redskin bench. This game, everything we expected. Dorsett and Springs, the 2 runners now. Pearson swings in motion. White on first down. Look, still looking. As a man. Ron Springs, who came out of the backfield, got about 7 outside the 30. Mel Kaufman, the linebacker, knocked him down.
I'll tell you, that Danny White is a tough guy. You know, he just stood there, stood in there, and right when he threw the ball, he really took a whack from Dave Bucks. Now, that's a real whack. When a guy's 6'7" and weighs over 300 pounds, that's putting something on you.
White had a lot of bodies circling around him. A lot of Redskins in the area. And as you pointed out, he just stood in there. 2nd and 3 from the 31. Dupree just checked in with the play. 2 tight ends, Cosby and Dupree over on the right side. Dorsett the lone back. Fake to Dorsett. White under pressure, has the ball just go up in the air, and Pearson come down with it. Drew Pearson, who's done that so many, many times. Tony Peters back there with him. 24-yard pickup for Dallas, and White again took a shot.
He really took a shot on that one. Let's see if we can watch that again. We see Drew Pearson coming in motion, and he's going to run down and across. You see just a deep cross. Peters sees him there, but he's turned the wrong way, and the ball goes right over Peters' head, or right inside him, and Drew Pearson out jumps him for the ball. Let's watch and see if we can see again the pressure on the quarterback. Watch from the right side of your screen. Watch now, White's getting ready to throw it. Now watch the whack he takes right there and still makes a completion to Drew Pearson.
Was Dexter Manley who put the hitting on White. First down, Dallas at the Redskin 45. First time they've been in that territory. Dorsett with not much room over the left side, got a couple. Matt Mendenhall made the stop.
Let's see if we can watch that defense on the chalkboard here. Now here's where Manley's coming from right here. Saying he's going to come from the outside. Now just watch the pressure that he puts. Let's watch it. You see, he's coming from outside the tight end. He's not lined up on the tackle. Well, that was a running play.
And Dorsett is the man who is still down. The injured Cowboys, Tony Dorsett. Don't forget, next Saturday, CBS Sports will bring you the Philadelphia Eagles against the Giants at 12 Eastern Time. That's next Saturday. It was preceded by the NFL today. The Eagles and the Giants. Another one of those old matchups where the folks don't like each other. Dorsett up and off. He had a bad toe, but I don't think that's his problem there.
It looked like he just had the wind knocked out of him on that play. You know, it was interesting until this series, the Cowboys were only averaging 0.5 on first down. Then they started to throw on first down, so I think we'll either see more of that or we'll see a mixture of run and pass on first down.
Dorsett is replaced by Timmy Newsome. He goes about 230 at the tailback spot now. End of the first quarter. Still no score. RFK Stadium is really alive today. 2nd and 8 from the... Let's see, well, very difficult it has been for either team to run so far. Dallas only 7 yards rushing. Most of that came on the first play. And the Redskins with only 21. Defensive battle. There are some Dallas fans sitting up over the picture of the Hogs.
You know, something just interesting just happened there. I don't know why, but an official came in the huddle and took Tony Dorsett out and took him over to the sideline.
He has to be, if he goes out of the game, he has to stay out one play, doesn't he?
That's probably what it was, and if they change a quarter, they'll probably put him back in.
That's right. So Newsome, number 30, is there now. That's Cosby in motion. This is White to throw, mainly with a rush. This is Doug Cosby, the motion man, who goes out of bounds inside the Redskins 35, a Dallas first down. Tony Peters knocked him out of bounds.
That's what did happen on that play. Tony Dorsett had an injury timeout. He had to stay out one play. Let's watch it here from the end zone. Now we see that the Redskins are in a stunt. The Cowboys do a nice job of picking it up. Danny White just throws it, boom, right out there to Doug Cosby.
Dorsett is back in the game. White is 6 out of 9 for 59 yards, the 1 interception. Dorsett deep in the eye. White again will throw it on first down. He has Tony Hill. Tony's juking. Jarris White out there with him, but he's got about 8 or 9 yards down to near a first down, not quite. Dorsett against Washington. Here's how he's done. Last year, over 100 yards both times, the first time. I was interested, too, John, when we looked earlier about his success on grass and on artificial turf.
The difference is very little. In fact, there's only a yard difference between his rushing total here in Washington and his rushing total in Dallas. 2nd and 1. Is the 24. Dorsett will get the call and the carry, and Dorsett is close to a first down, but not much. Terry Brooks made the stop. Here's what we were talking about. They're right. He has 74 yards average at home against the Redskins, and here in Washington, 73 yards. You always talk about Dorsett is better on artificial turf. He slows down on grass, but that sure isn't true when he plays against the Washington Redskins.
He was near enough a first down on the last carry for them to bring the measuring apparatus out. And got it. 1st and 10 from the Redskin 24 for Dallas. Still no score. 14 and a half minutes left to play in the first half. Tom Landry, who calls every play, shuttles somebody in and out of the game on every play. Jim Myers along there, the all-time leading coaches. Landry shooting for number 200 today. Alice and Lambeau further up the list, the only two. Pearson in motion. White steps into the pocket and throws intended for Cosby. The Redskins had it well covered. Vernon Dean got the hand on it. He looks good.
He sure does. You know, he's played well against the run, against the pass. On that play, Danny White was trying to go deep into the end zone to Tony Hill on the left-hand side. Hill was covered, so he had to come off that, and he went to Cosby. I think what he expected that the Redskins would be in a man-to-man defense, and they rolled up in a zone, so he didn't have anything to Hill, and he had to find something underneath it.
The Raiders up now 14-0 over Seattle. And Denver ahead of Atlanta, 14-7. Second and 10. Redskins, of course, expecting pass. They get a draw play. Dorsett bangs down close to the 10. Hard running by Tony Dorsett gives Dallas another first down, and Mark Murphy a headache.
So Tony Dorsett runs a draw. Now, as you say, the Redskins expect pass. See, they're all in the pass rush. They're going now to get Danny White. Boom, he fools him, hands it to Dorsett. Look at that hole here. Now, this is what it looks like to Mark Murphy. Boom, you come up. He thought Dorsett would stand up. Dorsett went underneath him, and he jolted him back a couple of yards.
First and goal, Dallas right at the 10-yard line. They can't make a first down without scoring. Dorsett deep in the eye. Again, it's Tony Dorsett. Not much room this time. He stumbles down to about the 8. Right now, for an update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat, here's that second Denver touchdown that you reported. It's going to be DeBerg under heavy pressure against Atlanta. Simple slant to Steve Watson, and they lead it by 7. Let's go back to Pat and John.
Here in Washington, Dallas inside the 10. Second and goal, in fact, from the 8. Brooks comes out. Darrell Grant goes in. That's on the Redskin defensive line. Second and goal at the 8. 12.5 minutes left to play first half. Fake to Dorsett. The lob to Springs. Touchdown, Cowboy. Mel Kaufman was the closest Redskin. Well-executed play.
That was a great drive. The Cowboys started on the 24-yard line, drove the ball 76 yards. That was a play pass. He faked to Dorsett. Springs was the first back. Let's see if we can watch it now. Springs is to the right hand of the screen. He comes across here. He fakes to Dorsett. Springs goes. He gets past Kaufman right there, and Danny White just loops it over Kaufman's head into the hands of Ron Springs. Good play fake.
Rafael Septien with Glenn Carano holding. We'll try to make it 7-0 Dallas. Septien hits. And so Dallas, in this very intense rivalry between Washington and Dallas, the Cowboys strike first. They lead 7-0.
Look at the Dallas Cowboy touchdown again. Kaufman is the man that has to cover Springs here. We get a fake to Dorsett into the line. Springs just gets right here behind Kaufman and into the end zone. Let's watch it. See the play fake? That holds the line. It holds the linebackers, and we see Springs up there. He sneaks right by Kaufman, and again, White just throws it over the head of Kaufman and into the hands of Springs.
And Dallas leads 7-0. Septien will kick it off. Mike Nelms back for the Redskins at the goal line. Septien. Short. Nelms from the 5. He is dangerous. Stacked up at about the 25 as the Dallas coverage is good, led by Fellows. Next Sunday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who won today against the very tough New York Jets. New Orleans at Atlanta, Washington at St. Louis, Detroit at Green Bay, and Chicago at Seattle. First down, Redskins at their own 26. Joe Theismann, of course, the quarterback. Monk comes out to the right along with Ricky Walker. Now Walker goes back inside in motion. Riggins the lone setback, and Theismann trying for Monk. Penalty marker down. Monk is hit. Everson Walls out there with him. This is Barnes who came over and wrapped him out of bounds, but the penalty marker goes down.
Maybe against Walls because, again, he can bump Monk, but he can only do it in the first 5 yards. Joe Theismann was trying to throw a quick out there. And then Walls rotated, so Monk made an adjustment and went on and up. It is against the Cowboys, and I'm sure it's against Everson Walls because he's talking to an official there about it.
Has to be.
Illegal use of the hands, number 24, defense, automatic first down.
Let's see if we can watch it again. Now here's Monk. Now again, Walls can come up and he can hit him in that 5-yard area. Boom, he hits him there. That looks like it's within 5 yards. See, now he was going to run a short out. He adjusted and went up. Unless he called him for hitting in the head, that looked like a legal play to me.
I thought it was. He could have called him for hitting in the head. Theismann going deep. Dennis Thurman back there. Pass intended for number 80, Virgil C. But Thurman back in good shape.
Let's take a look here in the pits and watch the blocking on Randy White. He's in that frog stance. He's back. We see him 74 right there. He was up. He's right there. Good blocking by the guard on him, by Russ Grimm. They back off. Then the center gets on him. I'll tell you, he takes a few shots, and then May comes over from the right guard and gives him one. He draws a crowd.
He always does. The double teams. Joe Washington has replaced Riggins. It's Brown in motion. On the draw play is Washington. Little bit of running room, and he can run. Barnes comes out to wrap him up, but a first down, Joe Washington. 12-yard pickup on the draw play.
Look at that one guy in the middle there is holding his heart. I tell you, they said they were going to do this. They alternate Joe Washington and John Riggins. And Riggins will run those tough yards, the inside running, and they're going to run the delay or the draw plays to Joe Washington.
Riggins back into the contest and Washington out now. First down, Redskins at their own 43. Dallas leading 7-0. 11:20 left to play in the first half. Big draw. Bruni going to blitz, and Theismann down with some help from Mike Hegman. Guy Brown also around. Loss of 4.
Bruning's the middle linebacker. We see him 53. We see 54. Randy White take the outside. Bruning just takes the middle, and he puts the pressure on right there on Joe Theismann. As everyone collapses, they all get there at the end.
Riggins came up and tried to block number 53, but he was on him too quick. 2nd and 14 from the 39. Brown and Monk come out wide to the right. Theismann is unhappy with the signal he got from the bench. So the Redskins take a timeout. That'll mean they have 2 left. 10:47 left to play in the first half. It is Dallas. And also next Saturday, the NFL Today begins that sports day. And then it's the Eagles against the Giants. Giants won again. They've won twice. And the playoff picture seems to be becoming a little bit clearer. Dallas in their passing defense. They use Washington again on the draw, and he gets pretty good yardage to about the 45 before they trip him up. Don Smerick, who's been playing very well in replacing John Dutton, made the stop that time. Dallas with their extra backs in the game now. 4-man front. No linebackers. 1 linebacker. Take it back. And 6 defensive backs. 3rd down. They need 8 for a first. Theismann looking down the middle. Has a man open and overthrows it. Penalty markers everywhere. Pass was intended for Art Monk. That flag came from a long way back.
It was the deep man, the field judge, number 91. He's the official that plays the deep middle. And there was a contact by a Cowboy in the secondary while the ball was in the air.
It's against Dallas. I believe Benny Barnes.
Number 31.
Illegal contact foul, number 34, defense, automatic first down.
Sorry, Benny. It was Monty Hunter. One of the young Dallas defenders, Big Game Hunter, they call him. At midfield, Redskin first down. 10:03 left to play in the first half. Dallas leading 7-0. Riggins bangs for about 5 straight ahead. Stopped by Michael Downs, the safety man.
Well, the interesting thing about that running play to John Riggins, it was stolen out of the Cowboy playbook because they took their tight end, Rick Walker, brought him in motion, and he led up the middle. That's an old Cowboy play that they've been running for years, and now the Redskins say, hey, that works pretty good against us. Let's see how you can stop it.
Good enough for 5 yards. Well, call it 2nd and 6. They get in 4 at the 46, just outside the 45. Riggins again. On the other side, 2 or 3. Harvey Martin on the bottom of that stack.
I think what the Redskins are trying to do, and they're really not getting enough running to create some short yardage situations, what they're trying to do is pound at that Cowboy defense to keep that front four at home so they just don't all tee off on the passer. But they're really not picking up enough yards, and they're ending up with that 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, where they have to get into passing situations. Then they're getting the 6 defensive backs.
3rd down, 3 from the 43. And Theismann does get himself in a passing situation. This is Clarence Harmon. He'll be close. Knocked out of bounds by Anthony Dickerson. He got it.
Of course, the 6 defensive backs are all working downfield. Now watch Joe Theismann. He has Clarence Harmon there in the back. He watches Harmon all the way. Boom, he throws a little outlet pass to him. Not a screen, but it was enough for the 1st down.
Harmon kept it in bounds long enough for the Redskins to pick up the 1st down at the Dallas 36. Clock stopped with 8:47 left to play 1st half, and Washington on the drive. Looks like a busted play. Theismann chased by Dutton. Penalty marker goes down, back by Theismann. Dutton collapsed on him, and now Dutton is just there with his head in his hand. They called an unnecessary roughness penalty against Big John, I'm sure.
Now that's a tough one. That's a tough one. No, it's against the Redskins. Because I was going to say, once that quarterback starts to run or scramble, then he's really a runner. And that would have been a tough call had it been against Dutton. But of course it wasn't against Dutton. It was against the Redskins.
Somebody must have hit Dutton in the back just at the last minute and knocked him into Theismann.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 88, offense, a blow to the head. 1st down.
That's Ricky Walker, who nudged Dutton, I believe.
Let's see if we can see what Walker does. Now we see the scramble here. Walker's out there to block, yeah, and he takes a shot at Dutton right in the face.
Blow to the head. 1st and 25. That hurts. 8:41 left to play in the 1st half. Redskins have the ball at their own 49. Theismann with a controlled roll. And now he's going to run. It's a play that Joe Gibbs likes very much. It is an intended rollout.
What it is, that it's a scramble. It's an organized scramble. He starts back. Then the offensive line invites everyone to the inside. They go in, then they block him in. Joe's able to get outside. Now, they did that all perfectly, but there was no one open. Good coverage by the Cowboys secondary.
It'll be 2nd and 17. 8:04 left to play. Now make it 8 minutes left to play in the 1st half with Dallas leading Washington 7-0. Brown comes out wide to the right side, along with Monk. Clarence Harmon stays in behind Theismann. Theismann has Art Monk open. And Monk gets down inside the 30 to about the 29. Not enough for a 1st down. Ron Fellows made the stop.
What the Redskins do with Art Monk is they move him all over the field. He plays right side, left side. He plays tight end and passing downs. That play was a motion play. Came in motion, and then he comes across. Let's see if we can watch it from the end zone. Theismann goes back. You can't see Monk. He's coming in motion, and then he comes underneath right here.
Thurman was the man chasing behind him. It's 3rd down, Washington, and 4. Theismann again will put it up. Has Monk. Penalty marker down on the other side of the field. Monk had enough for the 1st down, but we'll see.
That was an interesting play, Pat. On the play before that, it looks like the penalty's going against the Redskins. It's in the area of the holding call, and it is. Thank you, Jerry. But on the play before that, Monk came in motion, went across the field. This time he came in motion, started across, stopped, and went back.
Jerry Markbright will mark it off and then tell us who did it.
Holding number 66, offense, third down.
That is the rookie offensive tackle, Joe Jacoby, who stands 6'7" and weighs 295.
You knew the holding penalty was against Jacoby because it was thrown right at his area, right at the left tackle position.
So it'll be 3rd and 14 from the 40. Monk again in motion. Monk stays in to block this time. Got a man. Ooh, he almost had 6. Virgil C. had a step on Ron Fellows.
But Joe Theismann, he knows it. He had a touchdown there, and it was just a little too far.
That holding penalty not only took him away from the first down, it took him out of range of Mark Moseley.
It was really a good drive by the Redskins. The only thing is they had 2 big penalties in it that brought him back.
Jeff Hayes standing at about his 45 to punt for Washington. Fellows back at the 10. Hayes doesn't look like he can get comfortable back there. Shank. A 10-yard punt goes out of bounds, no return.
That's what happens when you can't get comfortable.
He just never really could get set back there. 7-0. Dallas leads Washington. Washington had the ball 10 plays. They kept it 5 minutes and 46 seconds and come up empty. Dallas has it 1st and 10 at their own 31 with 6:41 left to play in the first half. They lead 7-0. This is Dorsett. Nothing doing. Tony Peters came up quickly. Dexter Manley in good pursuit. That's good hustle.
That was good hustle. What Tony Dorsett was doing, he was stringing that thing out. He was waiting for his line to get in front of him so they could find a hole. He just couldn't find a hole. Now watch the white shirts, the Redskin defense. They start down the line. They're in good position. Now watch Dorsett. He's looking for a hole. There's no hole there. See, there was nothing in front of him. Then he just had to go to the outside. And when he did that, Tony Peters was right there. Good job of defense. 3 guys. That's the old triangle. We used to call that the triangle against the sweep. Outside, inside, and head on.
A loss of 9 by Dorsett. And right back to throw. Takes, throws the screen out to Ron Springs. Got a blocker in front. Springs cuts back inside. Springs gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. Not quite. Rich Millot was out to make the stop. Cincinnati beat Baltimore. Colts scored some points. Cincinnati had a struggle, but they still won, improving their record now to 4-1. 5 wins get you in the playoff, John?
I think so. I think a 5-4 would definitely get a team in the playoff. I don't know if 4-5 will, but I think the teams that after this weekend have 2 wins, I think will be in pretty good shape.
Third down conversions you saw. It's 3rd down 11. Shotgun. Here comes that blitz again. White has a man out there. Butch Johnson will have the Dallas first down and will also stop the clock with 5 minutes and 1 second left to play. Joe Lavender took him out of bounds. 14-yard pickup. Good throw.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing again, the shotgun, the long yardage, and we see the Redskins blitzing. We see out here Butch Johnson, man-to-man. He runs an out pattern on Joe Lavender right there at the top of the screen. Lavender gets there too late. First down, Cowboys.
The difference in that one and the earlier ones is that the Cowboys picked everybody up.
They picked up the blitz.
As they say, they had a hat on everybody.
I like that. Hat. Put a hat on them all and you got them blocked. Woo!
From the 43, 1st and 10. White will again throw on first down. Outside, Tony Hill. Is it? Drew Pearson, sorry. Not much.
can see the Cowboy game plan changing now in this second quarter. They started out trying to run on first down. Now they're passing on first down, and they're trying to hit in front of those corners who are off on first down because they're playing zone. And they're picking up the blitz on the long yardage and trying to hit the outs and man-to-man coverage. Interesting.
White is now 10 out of 15. Marcus Allen now has scored twice for the Los Angeles Raiders, and they're blowing Seattle away. Second and 10. White with good protection gets it to Billy Joe Dupree, and another Dallas first down. A perfect throw, and it had to be. 12-yard gain.
I'll tell you, and that's what Danny White is watching for. We'll see Billy Joe Dupree. He's man-to-man on a linebacker. It's Mel Kaufman. We'll see him come across. See right there, see Kaufman hit him. Now he has to chase him. And old Danny White just put the ball right in front of him. It really wasn't bad coverage for a linebacker from Cal Poly.
Really, there's not too much you can do when the ball is thrown that well.
Billy Joe Dupree, you know, is a big guy. 6'5", 230 pounds.
The all-time leading Dallas Cowboy receiver. Nothing doing. Ron Spring. Clock ticking now. Less than 4 minutes left to play as Danny White looks over to the side, waiting for the play to come in, this time in the person of Tony Dorsett.
You know, sometimes those guys get to play from the coach, and by the time they get to the huddle, they forget to play.
You have to be careful who you send it in with.
Right, and sometimes the quarterback calls a snap count, and he forgets to count by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 8. Dorsett goes back deep in the eye. Tony Hill this time, another Dallas first down, and another good throw, a good pattern. Everything worked well. Good protection, 14-yard gain.
Let's see if we can watch Tony Hill out there. He's man-to-man again on Vernon Dean. Dean is off. He's giving him a cushion. See, Hill just runs a hook, stops in front, and the ball gets there before Dean does.
White now 12 out of 17, 123 yards, the one touchdown, the only touchdown of the game to Ron Spring. Pearson goes out to the right. Tony Hill once again to the left. 1st and 10 from the 29. Dorsett. Couple. Rich Malott led the Redskin defense. Number 57 made the first contact.
I'll tell you, the Cowboys are still trying, but they really haven't been successful running on first down. Now, conversely, the Redskin defense is really playing tough first down run. Let's see if we can watch. We see the linebackers up in there tight. You see a little blitz. In fact, I think that's a run blitz. We saw Neil Okowitz, the middle linebacker, coming, and they just big Dave Butts there. You don't move him. Linebacker in there. There's really no place to run. Sometimes you have blitzes against passes. You also have them against the run, and that was what we call a run blitz.
Dave Butts just flat beat the double team. White quickly. That's a lateral. Pearson, he could throw it. He throws it to the wrong man. This is Vernon Dean with another interception. Bert Peterson made the stop on Dean. Pass intended for Tony Hill. Pearson, of course, was a quarterback in college and in high school.
Let's watch this now. You see Danny White starts out, it looks like a screen out here to Drew Pearson. He catches the ball, has a guard out in front of him. He's throwing down there deep for Hill, but Vernon Dean was right back there. He was playing his zone. He didn't have to get out and help against the run. He stayed where he was supposed to and came up with an interception.
So Dallas is stopped with 1:52 left in the first half. They lead 7-0.
Saturday, the perennial battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Sunday, more.
New Orleans, Atlanta, Washington, St. Louis, Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago at Seattle. Lone setback is Joe Washington. Theismann throws down the middle for Art Monk and has him. Dexter points Gale. Redskins and hurry up. Remember they used a timeout earlier. 25-yard gain. Theismann to Monk. Redskins have 2 timeouts left.
Now the Cowboy defense, those 4 defensive linemen, they aren't in the flex anymore. In fact, they're all scrimmage, getting in a rush position. No flex now.
One middle linebacker is Dickerson. They do not blitz. Washington does get outside. Upended by Everson Wall. Right now, once again, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
We're going to have for everybody at halftime. All the scores and highlights coming up on the NFL today. Here's Junior Miller of Atlanta. They are strong left. Linebacker releases. Safety doesn't get over to that zone. And now they are tied at 14. Let's go back to Pat and John.
Career victory number 200, Tom Landry. 106 left to play in the second quarter. Dallas 7, Washington nothing. Redskins charged with this timeout, so they have only one.
And I want to keep this shutout for the half.
That's the timeout situation. 2nd and 4 at the Dallas 47 for Washington. Theismann yelling out to one of his wide receivers. Here comes Monk in motion. He runs a lot. Good call. Jones takes down Joe Theismann. Never saw him coming. He beat George Stark.
That's the toughest place for a right-handed quarterback. You know, when he starts to turn to the left and he gets that pressure from his right side.
Boy, if you can't see him coming. Jones on the left side, fighting with Stark. There's the pass to Washington, who stays on his feet and stays on the sideline, and now gets out to stop the clock. 43 seconds left to play in the second quarter. Everson Walls knocked him out of bounds.
It was a tough one here for Joe Washington because he wanted to get out of bounds to stop the clock, but he also wanted to get up there for the first down. Theismann sees him out there. He hits him. Now watch the move. He makes sure he gets out of one tackle. A little move and says, now I better get out of bounds. And that's right at the marker. And they're going to have a stretch job here to see if it's a first down.
All the way across the field. As Theismann has now some time while they measure to come over and talk without using a timeout.
And it is the first down. So we see one marker on this side. That's where they put the first down. But the other, the chains are on the other side, and that's the official one.
Theismann in conversation with Gibbs, who used to work for John Madden. Joe Gibbs used to work for John Madden. That's what I was trying to say. Here's the quarterback comparison: 8 out of 12 for Theismann, 12 out of 17 for Danny White. 1 touchdown, 1 interception for White. The other Dallas interception was by Drew Pearson. The pass was. Monk again in motion. Dallas faking, showing blitz. Theismann is chased, and down he goes, but there's a penalty marker down. Larry Bethea is the man who corralled Theismann. It's against Washington. Doubtless will be turned down.
I'm sure Dallas will have no part of that one. I'll tell you, this is the thing that Joe Gibbs said he wanted to stay out.
Number 87, offense, decline, second down.
He said that Dallas, in those past defenses, the 6 defensive backs, the 4 linemen, they mix blitz and the whole thing. He said that's the toughest thing they do. He said you want to stay out of downs and situations where you have to throw. Of course, they're in it now with just 39 seconds to go.
2nd and 24, back at the Redskin 44 now. Dallas has 3 sacks on the day. 39 seconds left to play in the first half. Virgil C. out left. Monk in motion. Pass is caught by Monk once again. He gets down almost to the 40. Dennis Thurman wrestles him to the ground. Well shy of the first, and the Redskins will take their last timeout.
That was a nice play by Dennis Thurman because Monk was trying to get out of bounds to the sideline. Dennis Thurman didn't let him, so the Redskins had to use their last timeout.
31 seconds left, 7-0 Dallas. You're back to New York for the NFL Today and a complete update of all the scores around the league today with Brent Musburger and Irv Cross. 3rd down 9 from the 41 for Washington. 31 seconds left. They lead perhaps another 7 or 8 yards to get in range for Mark Moseley. Here comes Dallas showing blitz. Redskins pick it up pretty well. Theismann now is taken down by Monty Hunter, who came from the outside. That's the 4th sack by the Cowboys. They picked up all but one.
As we see it again, now watch, they see the blitz coming in the inside. See, they pick up them. The center goes right, the guard slides, but there's no one to pick up Monty Hunter coming from the right side. They had everyone picked up, but there had to be one free man, and that forced the Redskins into a punt situation.
Dallas does not really have anybody very deep. Jeff Hayes is in to punt for Washington. His last effort went only 10 yards. And they just let it run out. That's the end of half number 1 at RFK. We expected it would be a defensive struggle. It has been. And at the half, as Joe Gibbs goes in to talk to his team, it is the Dallas Cowboys 7, the Washington Redskins nothing, but still another half to go.
Welcome back to New York. Irv, we started out the day concerned about the St. Louis Cardinals because they were without their sensational running back, O.J. Anderson. So instead, his replacement, Stump Mitchell, goes out and rushes for 145 yards. And the Cardinals down the Eagles.
Down the Eagles indeed, Brent. It's the slowest start for Philadelphia since Dick Vermeil took over in 1976. And here's the man Brent was talking about, Stump Mitchell, 9th-round draft choice out of the Citadel. Comes upfield there for a 12-yard gain, setting up a touchdown opportunity for his club. And this time is Wayne Morris, coming off his right tackle, goes in for a touchdown. With that touchdown, tied a Cardinal rushing record for scores held by John David Crow. Wilbert Montgomery from the Eagles gets the Eagles on the board with a 2-yard touchdown run. It looks like they have things under control. But it's not to be today because Stump Mitchell is the man of the hour. A substitute, eh? Watch this run. 25 carries, as Brent said, 145 yards, and 1 touchdown. Stump Mitchell, the man of the hour for the Cardinals.
And in case you were not with us earlier today on the NFL Today, O.J. did not play because he had a heart problem after last Sunday's game. He underwent an arteriogram, and it is believed that he will be able to return to action next week for the Cardinals. He watched that game alongside the rest of his teammates. He was in civilian clothes. Now, elsewhere, the Giants rallied in the Meadowlands in the 4th quarter and pulled one out against the Houston Oilers. The final, 17-14, but it took the Giants a while to get on the right track against the Oilers. Rob Carpenter, of course, had returned to the lineup after being a holdout for some time. He was effective early, but it was Lawrence Taylor who knocked Archie Manning, the Oiler quarterback, out of the game because of a bruised hip. Archie did return later. His replacement, Gifford Nielsen, threw this pass to Gary Allen, who caught the ball at the 1 and then got in, and the Oilers led 7-3. Manning back in the second half, and he goes to tight end Dave Casper, who's been on a tear ever since the strike ended, and it was 14-3. And then finally, it was Butch Wolfolk who took control of this football game. That dive over the top, and watch this. Giant fans will see this play over and over all week long. A one-handed grab, dashes on into the end zone, 40 yards for the touchdown. The Giants pull it out. And, of course, next Saturday, let me remind you that it will be the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. We will start our coverage live at 12 noon Eastern Time with the NFL Today. And Giant fans would certainly be interested in this note. Joe Morrison, a longtime running back with the Giants, has signed on today as head football coach at South Carolina. Joe did a tremendous job down at New Mexico. He guided that team to a 10-1 record this year. So Joe goes over to see if he can restore that Gamecock program. Now, meanwhile, the Chicago Bears have discovered a quarterback. 26-13, the Bears a winner. Now here is Walter Payton. You know, this used to be the whole Bear attack. Payton right, Payton left, Payton up the middle. Well, finally they get somebody else. Yeah, he threw for 2, Jim McMahon did. But watch this, folks. He gets on in for his 3rd one with a beautiful... Any more slides like that, and the Cubs will put him out there at Wrigley Field next year. And Mike Ditka says, come on, let's get this program together here in Chicago. And the Bears' record now is 2-3, and they got a shot to be one of the 8 playoff teams from the NFC. Now, the Green Bay Packers are for real. They were beaten last week by the New York Jets, but they went up against one of the better defenses, the Buffalo Bills. And with the rain and slop and goo in County Stadium, they got a weird touchdown here. On a fumble by Ellis, it was recovered now by Del Rogers for the score. And then watch this little bit of trickery here.
Dickey hands the ball off to Eddie Lee Ivory, who hands the ball off to Lofton, number 80, who rambles around his right end on a reverse. A 30-yard gain doesn't quite get there, though, Brent.
Jan Stenerud kicking 4 field goals. Bart Starr and the Packers now push their record to 4-1 on the season. And there'll be a lot of high fives in Packerland from now on. Tampa Bay and New Orleans, probably as an exciting a game as there was any place. Tampa Bay's defense just may be the best. It all came down to this field goal at the end here by Anderson. That was a 60-yarder. Now, he would have tied it, I'm almost convinced, Irv, but that defense came in and sacked the snake, and Hugh Green turned in another great performance for the Buccaneers.
You know, the Buccaneers, ever since the first day Hugh Green stepped on the training camp field out there, said he's the best outside linebacker in football, even better than Lawrence Taylor.
All right, it'll be New Orleans and Atlanta next Sunday here on CBS, and that figures to be a big showdown because they'll meet twice the rest of the way. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, all week everybody wondered, is Terry Bradshaw going to play or isn't he? He missed most of last week's game in Seattle. Well, here he is, going downtown. That's 74 yards to John Stallworth. Bradshaw on the day threw 3 touchdown passes. He was 15 of 20 for 231 yards. But the Steel Curtain defense recorded 8 sacks, so they are back in business defensively. Now, San Diego over Cleveland, 30-13 was the final in that game. And the Baltimore Colts, they're better than that record indicates. They might have sent this game to overtime. They missed a field goal with time running out. If Frank Kush gets the kind of athlete who believes in that program, beware of his teams. They will not quit on you in the 4th quarter. The Bengals, extremely well coached, they hold on a win. The Dolphins over the Minnesota Vikings, 22-14, another well-coached team. What can you say about Don Shula? He lost a tough Monday nighter in Tampa. Then he comes back, and he was able to record that win. Finally, the game's in progress. They're at the half. The Broncos now lead the Atlanta Falcons 17-14, and the Los Angeles Raiders. Marcus Allen has rushed for about 125 yards at least in the first half. It is 28-7, the Raiders all over the Seahawks. And, of course, the game you're watching, it's a dandy. What can you say about that Cowboy defense that hasn't already been said? It's 7-0 at the half, and we will continue with the NFL today right after these messages from your local stations.
Eagles will make their short trip up the New Jersey Turnpike for a Saturday game in Giant Stadium. Now, the Eagles have a couple of scores to settle with New York, a regular season score and a playoff score. For it was the Giants who ruined Philadelphia's season last year.
Every game is an intense, very competitive sort of war.
It turns out to be a very physical battle.
If you come out alive in that game, you can say that you've been through a war.
In the first war, the Eagles crushed the Giants 24-10. Ron Jaworski to Rodney Parker for the score. But then in the second game, the Giants desperately needed a win. Terry Jackson stepped in and intercepted this Ron Jaworski pass and roared into the end zone. And the Giants' playoff hopes were alive.
We were in desperate need of a win at that point. Our playoff hopes looked very dim, and again, we hadn't beaten the Eagles in 12 tries, I guess, over the past few years. And we just went down. That was really my first start as the starter, and I just wanted to have a good game. And it turned out we won and got us rolling onto the playoffs.
Eagles-Giants, round 3. The Giants already lead by 13 when a second kickoff is fumbled by Wally Henry. Defensive back Mark Haynes recovers in the end zone. Scott Bruner carves up the Eagles secondary. This to Tom Mulledy.
They had a very good day offensively against a very talented defense of ours, and that's what's been sticking in my mind throughout the whole offseason.
First thing that comes into my mind when I think about the Giants is that playoff game we lost last year, and one in which was important to us, obviously important to them. First time they've been in the playoffs in a long time.
We felt we gave the ball game away, you know, in the first quarter with the kicking game turnovers and that kind of stuff. And I'd like them, if they are going to beat us more on a physical basis, on a performance of 2 football teams, rather than just some breakdowns like that.
Another of the bitter memories that stuck with the Eagles during the offseason. Bruner to Missler.
Everybody wants the Eagles now, and the Eagles is a physical team, and we're physical, and we just like to see who's the best out there.
I can't do nothing but smile when I play the Giants because I know at the ball game that I'm looking to have long hours and long days into the whirlpool and a lot of ice packs on me because they really hits.
Irv, that defense has fallen apart in Philly.
Yeah, that's their biggest concern. They really feel they can hold most teams to 10 points. They're averaging somewhere like 22 or 23 points given up against them right now. I think Vermilio's most concerned about that.
All right, time now to go back to RFK Stadium. Dallas leading Washington 7-0. Let's go to Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat?